Ah, yes, the great meltdown has begun. Look, it's grass. Oh, I haven't seen that for a few weeks. Yes, indeed. It's been a while. All right, let's do this. So today we got 2026 Bronco Job 2 information. Yes, it was announced. Building price has been updated. We got ourselves a new color, so we'll talk about all of the Job 2 changes. And then we're gonna dive into a little bit of the Jeep Wrangler. Yes, I know, that is a vehicle that does exist. I think it has the potential this upcoming year. I think it has the potential to impact what we see in the Bronco moving forward, 27 and beyond. So we're gonna talk about the 5 things I would like to see in the Bronco, how the Jeep changes might impact us. Should be interesting. Stick around. Welcome to the Bronco Break. So the first change, and the most exciting change in my opinion, is a new color. It is called Orange Fury, and it replaces carbonized gray. So yes, carbonized gray has been discontinued. This new Orange Fury color is now in. It looks, at first glance anyway, it looks very similar to Cyber Orange, which was a color on Bronco's launch, but it is not. Cyber Orange was definitely more of a school bus yellow color, in my opinion. This one is far more orangey. I've seen it on a Mustang before. I've also seen it on a Maverick. It's available on the, I don't think it's available on the Mustang anymore, but it was in the past. This year it is available on the Bronco Sport and Maverick, so you might be able to go to a Ford dealer and see if you can spot one. I think it looks great. Speaking of color options, you now have a lot more color options when it comes to the painted hardtop on both Outer Banks and Raptor. So earlier this year, you could only do it on Badlands. It was the only way to get, like a mismatched hardtop color compared to the body card. Now you can do it on Outer Banks and Raptor as well. So more flexibility, no complaints from me. Next on the list, these guys. You can now get these with your Bronco again. It's good to see. I actually don't know if it's this style where it's stuck onto the door or if it's the style that's integrated into the B-pillar here. I have no idea which one it's gonna be, but either way, it's like a defining feature of Fords for me. I've always really enjoyed the feature, so I'm happy to see it back. And last but not least, Wildtrak. Wildtrak is back, but it is not a trim. Instead, it is a package for the Badlands trim, which in my opinion, probably should have been this way from the very beginning, if I'm honest with you, but yeah, it is back. It is effectively it's basically a collection of packages, so it comes with everything the Wildtrak had, right? Black appearance package, 2.7 liter engine, 10-speed automatic, Sasquatch package, Haas 3.0 package, all of the things Wildtrak used to have, you can now get in this Wildtrak package. It's a little strange because you could technically do this before, but I suspect what happened here is this was a request from the dealers. I think probably the dealers were getting a lot of people walking into the dealership saying, hey, I would like a Wildtrak Bronco, right? Because that used to be the top trim Bronco, or at least it was considered the top trim Bronco. So yeah, I think just from a sales conversation perspective, it's a lot easier to say, if you're looking for a Wildtrak, get a Badlands with a Wildtrak package. That is way easier than saying, get a Badlands with the 2.7 liter and the 10-speed and the Haas 3.0 package and the Sasquatch package and the black, like, right? Like it's just way easier if it's all bundled together into one package. So, I think it's a good move. Go ahead and come over here and open the door to this because there's some condensation I noticed. That's not good. I wonder if my windshield seal is broken. I'm sorry, Focus. I know I've ignored you. I got to put you back together this year. But anyway, all right, moving on. Quick PSA before we talk about this Jeep stuff. The ProCal Tune for 2025. The 2025 2.3 liter. 2025 to, you know what I mean. The thing that makes the Bronco go faster with the ProCal, it's a performance tune, it's now available. It's available for 2025. It is only it's only a 49 state tune, so those of you in California are probably gonna have to wait a little bit longer for that CARB approval to come in, but hopefully that won't take forever. And hopefully right after that, we'll have the 2026 tune. So check it out if you're interested. It does seem to already be sold out on the Ford Racing Parts website, so check out Lethal Performance, Bronco Nation, all the other places to see if you can get it there. But yeah, now you know, in case you were waiting for it. Okay, Jeep time. Yes, Bronco people do talk about Jeep sometimes. So in case you haven't checked in Jeep World recently, they are doing a new big marketing push thing this year called 12 for 12. I don't know what it's for. Maybe there's some sort of celebration going on. I have no clue. But the best I can understand it is they're releasing a new special edition Jeep, 12 of them total, roughly one a month for the next year. I don't know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They've already done 3 or 4, maybe 5 Jeeps, and they have 7, 8 Jeeps to go. up until now, up until the most recent Jeep, they've largely been appearance packages, and who cares, right? Nobody really cares about appearance packages. But the most recent Jeep they announced is a Willys 392. Kind of interesting. So if you're unfamiliar with Jeeps, a Willys trim is roughly equivalent to a Big Bend with the Black Diamond package, give or take a little bit. So it is a lower trim, it is not an upper trim. The 392, of course, is the V8 Hemi, 6.4 liter, I think that's what it is, 6.4 liter Hemi V8. So yeah, that kind of raises some eyebrows. So I reckon it is a good time to talk about what I would like to see in the Bronco for 2027. Not only, I mean, granted, Ford probably already has 27 figured out and probably already has a really good idea what they want to do for 28. But what I would like to see between now, 2026, and the new generation, 7th gen, whenever that comes out. I don't know when that's going to be. The rumors have changed like 5 or 6 times now. The last one I saw, I think, was 2031, but whatever. Between now and 7th gen. And I'm going to try to keep it realistic-ish. Let's go. Number 1, towing. Now the Bronco has 3,500 pounds towing by default, which is not terrible, but as somebody who is currently shopping for like camp trailers, smaller camp trailers, it's a little restricting. It's just a little. What's happening is the trailer itself is around 3,000 to 3,500 pounds dry, but then by the time you load it up with gear, you're overweight. So it doesn't have to be a ton. I know there's going to be a trade-off between like off-roading capability and towing, but another 500 pounds, I think would go a long way. Number 2, Black Diamond package. I think it should be its own trim. Of course, it was a trim originally, and then it was made a package onto Big Bend. I think it needs to be its own trim again. So I'll admit I have flip-flopped on this a few times, but as you know, every single year when I do my manual transmission buyer's guide, I start to realize that there is enough of a performance capabilities difference between the Big Bend and the Black Diamond package, between the rear locker and the bash plates and the rock rails and the steel bumpers and all this stuff. It's like it really deserves to be its own trim again. Now, of course, for 27, we have the new RTR Bronco coming, which seems like it's going to fit the Black Diamond slot. It's going to depend on price ultimately, but it seems like it's going to fit in there. But still, yeah, it should be its own trim. Number 3, the roof rack. Now, if you read Ford's user manual, the roof rack, the roof is rated for 110 pounds while moving, which, kind of like the towing package, is just a little limiting. There are some rooftop tents out there that weigh under 110 pounds, but most of them are 150 to 180 range. So just a little bit more weight would be appreciated. Now, I have the Trail Racks, which is rated for 300 pounds while moving, but even on the Trail Racks website, they acknowledge that the user manual says it's 110 pounds and use your discretion. Basically, use this roof rack at your own risk. So, you know, just to help out overlanders a little bit, or campers, just, you know, a little bit more weight rating would definitely go a long way. Number 4, 2-door Bronco. I think it needs to be on at least one more trim. And this one is, this one's tricky because if we're being honest, 2-door just doesn't sell particularly well. And I will admit I am part of that problem because I have a 4-door sitting in the driveway. I don't know if public numbers have ever been released on sales data or anything like that, but based on what I'm seeing at my dealer, it's probably 10 to 15%, which is not much. So it makes sense why it is currently so limited, but as somebody who hopes to own a 2-door Bronco someday, once the kids are out of the house, and I think there's probably a lot of us in this situation, someday we would like to own a 2-door Bronco. Once we have less responsibilities. And yeah, I would like to see it on one more trim. I am not particularly picky about which trim. I will take what I can get. I just hope it sticks around long enough for me to buy one. Cool. All right, let's talk about it. The elephant in the room, V8. Yeah. It is probably the number 1 thing I've seen requested on the Bronco forums, the subreddit, Instagram, YouTube, all the things. People want a V8 in the Bronco. Now, I will admit, and if you follow me on any of the Bronco forums, you'll know this. I'm honestly not particularly passionate about the V8. Not that I'm against it in any way, but the 4-cylinder is perfectly fine for me. Nice and lightweight. gets good fuel economy, roughly the same power and torque output as the V8s from the 90s. So yeah, no complaints from me. But you know, I think it's time to admit that I'm probably in the minority there. All right, so here's what I'm gonna say about these V8s. And if you are particularly passionate about the V8, put your thoughts down below. I am legitimately curious to know what people think about this. But my general read is that people want a V8 in their Bronco, but they want it for mid-50s, somewhere between 50 and 60,000. I think that's what people are looking for. And I don't know if that's realistic. That Willys 392, for example, that Jeep just announced, that is a $70,000 vehicle. That is a lowish end Jeep trim for $70,000. So let's equate this to the Bronco world real quick. We're talking Big Bend with a Black Diamond package and a V8 engine for $70,000. That is roughly the same cost that you would pay for pretty much a maxed out Badlands. So we're talking Lux package, Sasquatch package, like the whole 9 yards. So I guess the question is this: would you rather have a completely maxed out Badlands, or for roughly the same amount of money, would you rather have a Black Diamond with the V8? I know what I would pick, but yeah, I am curious to know what other people think. Or maybe you want to go in a completely different direction. Maybe you just want the 2.7 back on the lower trims. Maybe you would like to see Ford bring the 3.0 from the Raptor down to the lower trims. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe you want to go hybrid. Probably not, but maybe you want to go hybrid. Let me know. I'm gonna get so much crap for this. Anyway, that's gonna be it for now. Thank you for watching as usual. What are you up to here, Miss Muffin? I see the kids tied you up. Oh, you're a very happy puppy. A very happy puppy, yes, yes, yes. Anyway, that's gonna be it for now. Supercell East is coming up in about a month. So if you're going and you haven't made plans for that, you should probably get on that. One sec, pause, please. What was I saying? Well, whatever. Have a good week. Talk to you all in the next one. Peace.